Have you ever renounced something on the outside, a habit, a relationship, a comfort, and still feel the resistance on the inside? That's exactly the confusion Bhagwan Krishna clears up at the start of this chapter. Because most of us think spirituality means giving up something on the outside, Bhagwan Krishna says, not quite. The giving up that actually matters is that's happening on the inside. By the end of today's session, you will know where you are exactly right now. I welcome you all to Divya Sakshi Marg, Chapter 6, Dhyan Yog, the Yog of Meditation. And the first 10 verses, Bhagwan Krishna is telling us how to shape ourselves, reshape how we work, how we live, our own mind. What does it truly mean to be free? I want you all to place yourself in this story. In the previous chapter, Bhagwan Krishna has been walking Arjun through two paths: Karm Yog, the path of action, Karm Sanyas Yog, the path of renunciation. Arjun, like most of us or many senior seekers, has been quietly wondering which one is superior. Should I act? Should I withdraw? Which we covered in our the summarize of Karm Yoga. That doership must leave and expectations of the outcome should leave. Rest all we should keep working. Let's talk about Shlok first that Bhagwan Krishna is giving us. He's saying those who perform prescribed duties without desiring the results of their action are actually sannyasis and yogis, not those who have merely ceased performing sacrifices or abandoned bodily activities. Always he says desire is the root cause of everything. Why are you here? What is the reason we are coming back and back to this world? There is some attachment that you hold before you leave this world, before you pass on to the next body, or when you die. Simply when we die, something happens. Deep down, many people say, oh, you are not connected with God, that's why this is happening. Please understand, there's no such thing as connected with God. You are always connected with God. This is wrong information, misinformation. You are forever and always connected to God. It's what you want here that brings you back here. God is not our enemy. He gives you what you want. Yes, sometimes it comes sooner, sometimes it comes later, but you definitely get it. For example, if past birth you had desire to be in Navy SEAL, so this birth it is getting fulfilled. And then you say, why am I on a ship doing this and this, la 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 la? Because you don't know, you only had this desire. Now, what he's saying is those who perform their duties without desiring the results of their action are actually sannyasis. Only just leaving the desire for results aside. Why is it so hard? Every chapter, every yoga, ask yourself, my dear angels, ask yourself. Action items are very straightforward. You should leave the doership. You should not desire the outcome. It's very straightforward. Yet so hard to implement. Why? Why is it so hard? That is the key behind everything. For one person, the why would be different. For the other person, the why would be different. You don't know what's the why. Find out what is your why. Why is it hard for you to leave the desires of the result? Why cannot you let go? Why do you want control over what I get? Why do you have expectations? Ask yourself. No one can give this answer but you. Please understand, no one can help you unless you want help, unless you want to go within. Ask is so simple, you don't have to leave anything. You don't have to leave your house, family members, kids, job, money, nothing you have to leave. But what you have to leave is the desire that I will get something in return. That's it. Outside things are there, you're doing everything. But on the inside, the desire should go. Why is it so hard for yourself? Ask this question. And when you get the answer, we come back and discuss. Okay? Because write in the comments or tell me some other way why it's so hard for you. Why it has not happened till now. In every situation, expectations is different. Desire is different. Outcome you want is different. If we come with different examples of the situation, every situation example will be different. Like husband and wife discussing, they want I should win. If two people are arguing, I should win. That is the desire for the result, isn't it? But what do you have to win? There's no winning in relationship, there's only love. That is why we need gyan, knowledge, to free us from these false notions we have been taught all our life. You are taught wrong gyan your entire life. Your whole life is based on that knowledge. And now, when I tell you the truth, it will be so hard to apply because the habits are formed. Life is already set. Things are already going in one direction. Changing the course is harder. What makes someone a sannyasi is the absence of the fruit of the action while they're still fully engaged in the action. The next verse is, what is known as sannyas is non-different from yoga. For none becomes yogis without renunciation of worldly desires. You cannot be. You can become a yogi on the outside. Change your clothes, change everything. Change your appearance, the way you talk, behave, everything can be modified. This is how modern day psychology and all these things work. You can shape anyone anyway. How they look, appear, behave, talk, react. But on the inside, you cannot shape people unless they want to. You can change their mindset, but it's hard to control their desires. Renunciation of worldly desires. Without doing that, you can never be sannyasi. And that is what same as yogi, what Bhagwan Krishna is saying. To the soul who is aspiring for perfection in yoga, work without attachment is said to be the means. Work with no attachment. What does this mean in practical life? I'm going to office. I'm finishing this report. I am doing the report, or report is being done by me as a vessel. I get appraisal from this. I don't get appraisal from this. Is out of context. Because the why behind you doing things is different. Currently, your why is you want more money. That's why you're doing things. Not because your duty is to do. You're already getting paid to do your job. You're already getting paid to do your job. It's your duty. But this is Kali Yuga. People don't believe in all this. Even if I'm getting paid, I should be, given more, or I should expect more to do my job. This is reality nowadays. But In real world, in actually, you're already getting monthly salary to do this. So you should be doing this. That's it. Here, the goal is work without attachment. We are constantly attached with everything around us. The moment you feel sadness, moment you feel upset, that is the moment something you're attached to is broken or touched. That's it. This is the key signal. The moment you get upset, sad, disappointed, angry, these are your signals. I'm not saying don't get upset, don't get angry. These are unrealistic, impractical things. When you get upset, sad, angry, go back to what you are attached to. Attachment is not always associated with love. Also understand, hatred is one of the biggest reason for attachment. Jealousy, these are also attachments, forms of attachment. We think attachment is only love, binding is wanting something. Okay, that is there. That's a positive side of attachment. The negative side is you hate someone, you despise someone, you're jealous of someone, you want to hurt someone, constantly thinking against someone. That is also attachment. It's not different. So, whenever you feel upset, angry, sad, disappointed, irritated, go back to the root cause. What am I attached to right now? Don't change your reactions, don't change anything. Just go back to see what am I attached to. This is what will make you more self aware. Do you need AI to tell you this? What am I attached to? What am I doing this? This is just creating external dependencies. If not a human validation, now you need an AI to validate things. How is that different? You're still not free. And my job is to make you free, free from everything. First, free from yourself. Okay? So, the soul who is aspiring for perfection in yoga means someone who wants to do the yoga, connect with the self, first needs to work without attachment. To the sage who is already elevated in yoga, tranquility in meditation is said to be the means. Means someone who is already in vairagya, who doesn't want anything, who's detached from the world. For them, meditation can be another way of going inward. The goal is to go inward. Know yourself. We think we are detached, but most of the times we are more attached than we know. If we were self aware, then what was the problem? Self awareness is not there. We don't know who we are. Truly, deep down, you don't know who you are. What are your intentions? Who do you like? Whom you don't like? Why you don't like them? On the superficial level, you know everything. But deep rooted inside, you don't know yourself. You haven't discovered yourself. And I want you to go and discover. Spend time. Talk to yourself. Understand who you are. As a person, what do you like? What you don't like? Whom you don't like? This discovery has to be done by yourself. I can tell you things, but that won't make much difference. Even if I tell you, you won't believe me because you have to believe it first. Someone tells me, like, my problem is this X. And I tell them, X is not the problem. Y is the problem. They don't believe me. They don't believe me. They say, no, X is the problem. And I'm saying, no, X is not the problem. Y is the problem inside of you. Actually, people think, for example, two people are fighting. Yeah, one of the person is in satsang and comes and say, I want that person to be happy. That is the problem. And I say, no, it's the other way around. You are actually angry with that person because he or she is not going your way. That is the problem. You have created false images about yourself and lying to yourself. The moment you see who you truly are, you will be liberated. You will realize the false information this mind has been feeding you for ages, lying about your own self, trying to protect its ego, protect itself. So, for those who are trying to perfect the yoga, trying to connect with the self, they should continue doing actions without attachment. And for those who are detached in vairagya, they should go deep into meditation. They don't have desires outward. That's why Karm Yoga is the path for people who also have desires, who wants to do a lot of things in this world and also want to be liberated. The next verse says, when one is neither attached to the sense objects nor to the action, such a person is said to be elevated in the science of yoga, having renounced all desires for the fruits of action. This more like a checkpoint, like how do you know if you're progressing? So once you have attachment removed from your sense objects, your all senses, and your actions, such person is elevated to the Dhyan Yog, renouncing all the desires for the fruit of action. You can call it a step by step series, or stairs to climb up, or you can say it there's no stairs at all. Progress is also for the mind, that it's improving, learning, understanding. We don't measure anything externally. All measurements are on the inside. How attached you are, how much you are relying on this, how much desires of this sense objects, how much you still want outcomes to be your way. True renunciation is not about stop doing things, it's about stop craving while you continue doing things. Stop craving. Craving is the problem. You understand? So today we cover this. Tomorrow we'll cover the next few verses of Dhyan Yog. We'll go deep. See, every yog is just a progress of mind from one state to another. But there is no matrix which is better, which is not matrix better. Point is, once you realize you're not the mind, you are just a seer, everything is resolved. Life is easier. All problems you were carrying were in the mind. Now, no longer required.